What is up, guys? It is Undead here, and today we're going to be going through a behind-the-scenes look at one of my most recent trailers, the big old Star Wars Battlefront cinematic trailer I made a few weeks ago. And so basically the way this is going to work is I'm just going to let it play out, let you guys see kind of the timeline, let you guys see the audio changes, the fades, the cuts, so you guys get the idea. You guys get to see kind of the edit and the work that went into the video that you saw. And this is just a really fun thing for me to do, so you guys get an insight on what my job is and how I'm gonna continue to improve it in the future, and just kind of give you guys, like I said, a look into how things are done. But first of all, two really big things I want to get out of the way while you still have your attention. First of all, which is there's a lot of new faces around here lately because Star Wars, or EA Star Wars on Twitter has shared my video, which still blows my fucking mind. I still don't know why they'd share my video, but I'm so humbled that I did an honor by that. And besides the point, there's a lot of new guys around here, and a lot of you guys play Battlefront, which is amazing. And that works out because I was gonna ask basically a call for help for you guys, the viewers. And I want your help with a project that I want to do in Battlefront, which is a kind of a cinematic video where I get a bunch of guys, roughly like 20 to 24, or the more the merrier, and we go into a private match, and I load up some cinematic tools, and we make a really awesome, like 4 to 6 minute little short cinematic, short movies, as in with a story. I would really love to do it with you, create something like that. But the caveat is, of course, that I do need actors. It's not something like Arma where I can just script AI to do it, so I need people to help me out. So big call to help if you guys want to help me with the cinematic and take part in it, and help me out one day and hop on Battlefront and then have these awesome stage battles and help me out with that. I would just be so greatly appreciated. If you want to help out, just leave me a comment down below in the comment section saying you would like to help out, and we'll talk further, and eventually I'll add you on Origin. And it'll work out a time and day that works out for a lot of people if enough people show interest, and we'll make something awesome, and I'm really looking forward to it. So hopefully you guys will jump on board with that, because I think it'd be a ton of fun to do, especially with a lot of you guys that have seen my stuff and would like to, game with me for a little bit, and that'd be a lot of fun. So if you're interested in helping me out with that Battlefront cinematic, let me know down below, and we'll talk a bit more details later. Next thing is a excuse me. Next thing is a big thing for my channel, which is my channel has just surpassed 100,000 total views, which is a number that is insane for me to comprehend because it's 6 digits, and it's a number I never thought I'd get to when I first started. I started this off as a hobby, and I just wanted to say how thankful I am for you guys. And I'm so happy that I've made it to 100,000 total views, and I'm just so honored that you guys have watched my content that many times and stuck with me, for those of you that have. And just a really big shout out and thank you so much, guys. I really can't stress how much that means to me. Anyway, for the reason you came to this video now, the Battlefront trailer. What like I said, I'm going to do, I'm just going to let it play. You guys can see all of the stuff that you want to see, how the edits go, how the audio dips, fades, cuts, all that stuff. So enough of me rambling, and more of the behind the scenes. For the free information, I'm just going to keep the preview window as it is, so you guys can see the edits. So if you've already seen the video, this is going to work out great. If you haven't, I'll leave a link for it somewhere, probably in the preview window, so you can just click on it. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you have, let's go.
We will witness the destruction of the Alliance and the end of this insignificant rebellion.
Soldiers of the Rebel Alliance, this is our most desperate hour. You are our only hope.
shall crush these fools and then their pathetic rebellion. Soon they will understand the power of the dark side.
May the Force be with us.
Alright, so let's rewind this bad boy here and work out some few general tips that I'm going to give you guys and that I use to employ, or that I employ in my own work, which is one of my biggest tips is to always find the music first whenever you're working on something like this. Because when you find the music first, it really helps you visualize the story before you go in and helps you visualize what you want to do before you actually start going in and recording stuff, or in this case, downloading trailers or whatever it may be. Getting the music in your head before you start working allows you to know, especially the beats and the pulses and the cuts that you're going to need, because you can listen to it and hear that, which is especially, you know, towards the end here, you'll hear the audio cut, very or the music have these beats that get faster, and then it cuts to this point right here where it gets, you know, it doubles. So it, you know, first off starts like this, and then it doubles, which you can hear here. So at that point, you need to kind of hear how the music picks up a little bit and speed up your cuts, which is what I do here, which I'll show you really quickly. So the reason, like I said, to find the music first is because it allows you to see that you can visualize what you want beforehand. And I think that's so important. You know, when I was listening to this song, the Force Awakens trailer song, you know, I love this song to death. You know, it's one of my favorite songs I've ever heard in a trailer personally. So when I thought about the idea of doing it for fun and using the song on my own project, I already knew, like, I really enjoyed the song. I listened to it a bunch, and I knew the general feel of the song, if you understand what I'm talking about. Like, for example, this part with Darth Vader, the part of the song is very dark. You can hear it suddenly crescendos, which is this build-up in audio you hear here. And then it has that very, like, dark tone, very ominous low tones, which I'll play really quick.
We shall crush these fools and then their pathetic rebellion. Soon they will understand the power of the dark side.
So yeah, music is very important for understanding as an editor, so you can follow the flow and ebbs and flows of the tone of the music, so you can match the scenes that you're recording to that. So, you know, when I was listening to the song, I noticed that you know, for example, in the legitimate Star Wars trailer, they used the scenes of Kylo Ren. And my thing, obviously Kylo Ren isn't in this game, so I used the next best thing, which is my favorite character of the entire series, which is Darth Vader. And this whole sequence where he pulls out his lightsaber. So I thought that was really fitting. It fits the kind of that darkish, kind of monotone drone underneath all of the little melody there, and it kind of has that dark feel, like something eerie is gonna happen. So just a fundamental understanding of how the music works and how important music can be to making your trailer or your video or your cinematic successful. That's honestly one of the biggest tips I can really give you, and I think that really does make a difference between good trailers and great trailers, or great videos and good videos or whatever it may be, wherever your passion is. I really do think that finding the music first and understanding how it works, when you're supposed to be calm and when you're supposed to be action shots and when it's supposed to be fades and when it's supposed to be fast cuts is so important. And that's what I did with like these scenes with the piano, which you see here. So you need to understand when that piano is just very precise, it's that one precise hit, that one tone change. That's not a fade. You need to understand that's a very quick transition. And this is some basic stuff, like I said, but this is some stuff I've noticed in people's creations that they've done themselves, which is they don't really pay attention to the music. And anyway, I'm not going to harp on this anymore, but I just want to stress the importance of music and how it really does make a difference to what you're. It honestly, in my opinion, it makes or breaks what you're doing. If you don't pay attention to the music at all and you just throw it in there afterwards, nothing's going to sync up, nothing's going to have the impact that you want it to, and it's ultimately just going to lose the effect that you're trying to have, at least in my opinion. If you know the music going in, you avoid that problem. So going forward and talking more about the technical stuff, let's talk about the beginning sequence, because I saw a lot of people do trailers similar to this in Battlefront where they made their own sort of remake of the Star Wars The Force Awakens trailer in Battlefront using this song. And they always started, right on this piano hit. And so I didn't really want to just start there. I didn't feel like that was a really good starting point. So what I opted to do is I remembered the Battle of Jakku trailer, which I remembered very fondly because it was such a cool trailer. The way it ended and the way it really was a solid teaser. So what I did was I just put the teaser in front for multiple reasons. One, because it's kind of, it complements the idea and the story that I'm kind of trying to build up. That you see that this is a conflict going on. And not only that, but this scene in the very beginning, which is very, it's so convenient that they had this because it makes it much more official. That they add this part.
The destruction.
This just makes it more even official, like an actual real trailer. That they have this in the beginning. So that was another purpose too, to put this in the very beginning, because it kind of sets it up and the music, and then I use the audio from the gameplay EA Star Wars Battlefront trailer, which is this audio here that I'm highlighting. This is from the gameplay trailer, which is obviously not the trailer that I use here. So I mix and match the audio of different trailers to essentially create a different feeling, which worked out really well. For example, in this opening sequence, when you hear the Emperor talking, and it's kind of showing you scenes of the AT-AT shooting and the Stormtrooper helmet, and then it transitions when Admiral Akbar starts talking to you see the rebel. So when Admiral Akbar starts talking, the camera looks up and sees a rebel trooper kind of motioning for his fellow or her fellow troopers to like kind of rush into battle, and this is it. This is the battle. Tendo battles essentially, which I'll play really quickly here, so you get that. So you get a feel of what I'm talking about.
We will witness the destruction of the Alliance and the end of this insignificant rebellion.
Soldiers of the Rebel Alliance, this is our most desperate hour. You are our only hope.
Now, as much as I do like this beginning segment, and I was like, I really, really like the feel of this, it did present the challenge with the immediate drop-off of all sound at this very end part, where you see the Star Destroyer coming and collapsing through the atmosphere, about to crash into the surface of Jakku. And they obviously cut the trailer there, and it just goes completely silent, and it has that certain effect. And I originally spaced all of this farther back, so it would go silence, and then it would open to this piano a little bit later, after about 5 seconds. But then I opted to do it. This would crescendo and keep getting louder and louder, which is this blue line here. Keep getting louder and louder, and then it would just transition right into the piano hit, which is what you hear here.
You are our only hope.
So it's going from this huge battle scene, this Star Destroyer is crashing through the atmosphere, all these explosions and blaster fires going off. These, you can faintly hear some intercoms about Darth Vader and stuff, and I don't know why though, because that doesn't really make sense because Darth Vader's dead. Well, I guess beside the point. Anyway, it uses the crescendo of this first trailer to transition into the next part of the trailer, essentially. So that's what I did. And this is really tricky because, obviously, as you know, I mixed and matched audio, and the challenge of that is if I mute this track and extend this a little bit and mute this track as well, you'll hear the problem if I continue to use the gameplay trailer audio, which is this blue one like I mentioned earlier. If I continued it for just even a little bit, you'll hear the transition go from Admiral Akbar talking to a trumpet fanfare, and that obviously is not what I wanted for this feeling, because I'll play it for you really quick so you understand.
You are our only hope.
So obviously, that wouldn't make any sense in any sort of context. So I just faded it out like this.
You are our only hope.
So he finishes out saying hope, and then what I did there was the background song is actually a song called the Force theme from the original trilogy movies. So I downloaded the original soundtrack for the Force theme and added that to this track at the bottom, which is this green layer. And I crescendoed this up right as this starts to fade away. So this is coming more and more into the foreground of audio, and this is going away pretty immediately. So it transitions like this.
You are our only hope.
So you can't even honestly tell because it's the same. I synced it up to the same beat, so the same parts are going on at the exact same time. So they just crossfade into each other. One's getting softer, one's getting louder. So it doesn't sound like one's actually going away at all. It just sounds perfectly natural.
You are our only hope.
And then it cuts to, of course, the piano part. So that was a really good tricky part. I had to really line up dead perfect, like dead on accurate. If I was even a second or a second too soon or too late, it would have been a slap in the face. Like that, you would have seen it and heard it very vividly. So I made very crucial timing and detail into making sure that worked, and I didn't do that incorrectly. The next scene is just kind of, or the next following scenes, I should say, is just kind of basically I went into game and captured the beginnings of some of the survival missions. For example, this one is on Tatooine, this one is the Endor survival mission, and then this one is the Sullust survival mission. So I just recorded the very beginning cinematics of that and kind of mashed them together, and it kind of gave that feel of like the rebels are gearing up for something. They're doing their rebellious acts. They're doing their rebellious acts. They're playing charges on Empire stuff, or the Empire bunker, blowing it up, sabotaging it. There's a battle on Tatooine going on. They're stealing some sort of plans for an AT-AT. So it kind of just gives that feel of the rebellion doing what they do best, essentially. And then of course, with the piano, you hear these hits and stuff. And so those hits are kind of similar in a way. Similar in the way that this next hit with the Stormtrooper is much different. So in order to visualize or help visualize the audio change, I changed from the traditional you seeing Rebel Troopers to actually seeing Stormtroopers for the first time. So that helps you visualize the audio cue. So you'll hear it. I'll play it really quick again here. So then you just cut that, so he turns around right as that audio cue happens. So that was a really fun piece to edit and throw together. The next part is honestly my favorite part of the trailer, which is of course the dark side part of the trailer, which is basically Emperor Palpatine describing how they're going to crush this rebellion and they're going to feel the power of the dark side of the Force, which is a ton of fun. Big shout out to my friend Ockneil for helping me out grab the screenshot and playing Emperor Palpatine as I played Darth Vader and we looked off into the distance, which is a custom scene, of course, that I used or that I got using the cinematic tools that I wish to use for the cinematic that you guys would help with. So that was a ton of fun. And if you're wondering what this piece is, fun fact is I was using Fraps to record at the time, so the FPS counter was here, and I already told him, thank you so much, man, I really appreciate your help. And then I looked back on the footage, and I realized I had the FPS counter on, and I was like, well, I can't ask him to do it again, because he's probably already tired of it. So I had to go into Photoshop, take a still image of this, cut all of this extra space out, and then leave the iceberg or the piece of the cave still intact, so I could drag this in with a transparent background and raise the opacity so it would cover that up. Probably should have just done it again, but I didn't want to bother him again because he already used some of his time to help me out. So I used that, and that was my way to cheat that little editor magic. There you go. And this whole segment was really fun. And if you're wondering, you are correct if you thought that this isn't the original audio that he says here in this scene from the Battle of Hoth mission, single-player mission. What he says here is something along the lines of, "You did well, my apprentice." And obviously that wouldn't make quite too much sense in the grand scheme of things. So what I did is I had to go into the audio files of the game and pick and choose the lines that Emperor Palpatine says. And essentially, it has every single dialogue that every character says in like a 10-minute video or 10-minute file that I found. Obviously, 10 minutes total of files, and they're obviously not named. So I had to go and find this one specifically, which was a pain in the ass. It took me a very long time to find this. And then this one is another one, so I had to find this as well. So then I line these up in sequential order here, and they kind of molded them together to create more of a cohesive statement that I'll play here.
We shall crush these fools and end their pathetic rebellion. Soon they will understand the power of the dark side.
So this is just so much fun. I love this part, and lots of really sound effects I had to make because obviously when I recorded the game audio was extremely soft. So that's obviously a problem. So what I did was, because it's a Darth Vader scene, I just went and downloaded a video or a file of Darth Vader's breathing effect and added that on, and then just increase the volume as these scenes play out, or how the scenes respectively look. So for example, for this scene, he's close to the camera, so you have the breathing close or higher. This scene's a little bit farther away, so you reduce it so it's not as apparent. This scene, he's not even in camera yet, and it's him walking towards the camera from behind. So in order to replicate that, you got to build this. So you can slowly see this is getting louder and louder until this scene is finally, really loud, and he's right on top of you. So just kind of like little subtle things, making sure that it's cohesive and working together, and stuff like that. So just making sure that that kind of makes sense. Not doing something like leaving this all at the same level, even though this scene changes. He's at different distances and stuff, and he's walking forward, but you don't want it playing at the same volume. So, if I do, this stuff. Oh, that's the wrong track. So this. So yeah, you just gotta make sure it makes sense. Just keep trying your best to kind of make it, like I said, make sense. So going forward here, and this is really simple. I just wanted to kind of emulate the Star Wars The Force Awakens trailer, where in this part of the music, which you'll hear really quickly. In the official trailer, that part is the Millennium Falcon flying around. And I felt that there was nothing better to kind of replace that with than just use the Millennium Falcon again. I really liked that, because when this transitions going from the dark, ominous tones to basically really bright and happy sounding, it sounds very chaotic. Well, not chaotic's not the word I'm looking for, but very energetic. And so to reflect that like energy and kind of moving feel that this gives you, there's nothing better to do that than a Millennium Falcon flying around shooting Imperials. So I just opted to keep that the same. Same in quotations, of course, because like I obviously can't replicate the same scenes, but you understand what I'm talking about. Then the next scenes are just simply me changing and rearranging a ton of shit for this whole part, trying to figure out what I like the best. And eventually I settled on this whole speeder bike sequence on Endor. Oh, that's the wrong button. Whole speeder bike, words are hard. Speeder bike chase on Endor. This whole sequence is the same thing I did with Emperor Palpatine. I had to go through the sound files and find these bits of dialogue by themselves. So if you listen to this, you'll see that they're just completely bare. So that allows me so much freedom in what the character says because it's completely independent of anything else. There's no blaster shots or music from trailers attached to it. It's literally just the voice, so I can raise it as much as I need to.
For the rebellion!
Don't get in my way.
So yeah, that worked out super well, and I was extremely happy that I even found that shit. So that was extremely fortunate. Then going forward, I just cut to the Battle of Jakku gameplay trailer, which had this awesome scene with these fighters going at it, until eventually one of the TIE interceptors takes the bullet, or the laser, I guess in this case, and spins out of control and just crashes and blows up into the side of the destroyed Star Destroyer, with the ending scene with, of course, none other than this Super Star Destroyer crashing into the background. So that was awesome. A really great scene. Another great scene was this whole Hoth sequence, and I placed this down. I was liking this quite a bit, and then I found out that this whole thing basically syncs up to the music perfectly. All the cuts in the music, or all the cuts in the scenes that you see, all the events happening. For example, the AT-AT crashing to the ground is just all synced up, which I'll play really quick. So I was just like, I watched that over when I finished editing that, and I was honestly like in shock. Like, did that just happen? Did I just accidentally make that, well, make that like perfect as it was, for lack of a better term, of course. But I was really surprised. I was like, that just happened. So that was awesome. Then of course the music gets a little bit brighter, as you can hear.
May the Force be with us.
So of course, no better way to do that than, of course, use Luke Skywalker. May the Force be with us. Same thing with the audio. Once again, with the audio files, had to sort through like 10 minutes of freaking individual shit to find the quote I wanted. That was a pain in the ass. Took me like 40 minutes just to go through that. Then that was an exaggeration, if you couldn't tell. And then this, of course, is leading up to none other than the rebel soldier running through the Hoth hangar and seeing the Millennium Falcon and just staring at it in awe, which I think the music really helps make that scene a lot more dramatic. And the last scenes, of course, is just the music kind of descending into this beat that you can see that happens, that I told you before, that I talked about before. It kind of hits, and then it keeps getting faster and more frequent until the very ending scene where Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker clash lightsabers, which was the best way, in my opinion, to end something like that. That just image is extremely powerful, in my opinion. So that was definitely the way I wanted to end it. And that's about it, really. I don't really think there's anything else I need to talk about too much. I think it's been going on for roughly 30 minutes now, so I think I've used up quite a bit of your time, especially if you're still with me. Just to recap, big shout out for 100,000 total views. I'm so thankful for every single one of you that have watched my video so far and contributed to that. It really does mean the world to me. I still can't believe we hit 100,000. That is insane. And then lastly, of course, I plan on doing a Battlefront cinematic, but I can't do it without your help. So if you'd like to help me out with that, and be an actor for me and take part in some epic battles and an epic video, please feel free to please tell me down in the comments below. Let me know that you're interested in helping. We'll talk some bit, and at each other in Origin, and we'll set up a day and time that everyone can kind of get together and do stuff, and it's gonna be fun. I hope we can pull it off, guys. I hope you guys will help me in doing that. It's gonna be a blast. And that's it, guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed seeing this behind-the-scenes look at the Star Wars Battlefront trailer that I made. Hope you guys got some new information that you didn't know before, and hopefully you guys learned something, and hopefully you guys got a little bit of an insight in what exactly goes into this type of stuff. Of course, I do plan to improve going forward. I was just really impressed with how this trailer came out. You know, I didn't really have the highest expectations for it, and then just came to be. You know, I just kept throwing clips around, changing the audio, rearranging stuff that I felt needed to be rearranged, and lo and behold, and I was extremely happy with the ending result. I don't know, it just happened. It was fantastic. I don't know. I was just so happy with what, you know. That's always the best feeling. That's what you should strive for. Is don't stop until you're satisfied with something. Once you're happy with something, that's when you can stop and edit or render it and upload it and share it with the world. But don't settle for anything less than the best. Essentially, you know, always push yourself. Don't settle for complacency. Don't get to a level and just say, you know what, I'm good enough. You know, that's it. I'm done. I don't need to learn anything else. You know, that's not the place you want to be. You definitely want to keep making yourself better and better, which is what I strive to do. And I hope for the next trailer I make, it's gonna be even better, and I'm gonna do even more. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you made it to the 32-minute mark, you are amazing. Don't forget it. Thank you so much, guys, again. And of course, guys, I'll see you in the next one.